Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to kind of run through how I set my lineups, how I look at what I prioritize, kind of what kind of goes through my thinking when I'm kind of tweaking things here and there. Because ultimately, what do we want to do? We want to win. We want to win money, we want to win good cards. So let's see what I can put together in this video and let me know in the comments if I've got anything wrong. Let's get into it. Okay guys, so what we want to do is we want to build a lineup that is going to win something substantial, hopefully in Game Week 31. In terms of the midweek, what are we looking at? Well, we are looking at a bit of a disaster. I went for Stefan Ortega. He did not play. City did pretty poorly anyway. And last night I had Liverpool. Obviously, Salah missed a penalty. Soboslai didn't even start, and Diaz didn't have a good game. So midweeks, they are a bit of a mishmash. Tonight, I do have a bit of a Tottenham stack, and then I have this, which is kind of just throwing some players in. I don't know if Mr. Adrian is even going to play. Apparently he is. I'm not sure why, because he's very, very old and very, very crap. Right. But anyway, what is the point of this video is I'm going to just kind of talk you through what I do when I start building my lineups. I don't know if that will help anyone, but let's see what we can put together. In terms of priority, I'm always going to prioritize in season, and I suggest that you guys do that as well. The competition is a lot there's less people in there, so you want to be prioritizing your in season. That is common sense, but I just thought I'd point out, and I like the fact that on the game week schedule it starts off with the teams that I will want to prioritize. So Premier League is where the bulk of my gallery lies, and I'll always obviously focus. I'm not someone who will try and kind of put my best teams in lower divisions. I think that's not a great tactic. You may well come higher, but if your team really does well, you want them to be in the higher divisions. I name my teams after wrestlers. That's just what I like to do. So we'll start with the Mick Foley team, division number 2. So let's look at the fixtures for this game week. I have a heavy Brighton contingent for rare. I have to field a good Brighton team. They're playing Southampton. I don't have all the smashers. I really don't. I don't have any Chelsea. I don't have any City. I have Curtis Jones from Liverpool because I thought he was a good cheap option. I think I might even be able to sell him for profit later down the line, but I picked him up. But we'll see what we can put together with my available players. So I'm going to start here. So I wish that one thing I do wish Sorare had, like these team where it tells you what team playing. It's very small. I don't know if you guys find that, or it's just my eyes. Very small. But I think I'm going to have to go for Brighton. I have a classic. Always try and have like a good classic card. It's just a cheaper option if you're going to be starting buying in-season players. There's a classic guy you can get cheaper. So I'm going to go for Bart for Bruggen. And I am going to full stack. And I know a lot of people say don't full stack. I think if you're doing it with a lower team and you've got good XP on your cards, there's absolutely no reason not to do it. Because if you do very well, you're not going to be competing against a lot of teams. Not many teams will be stacking Brighton. So I will be doing that. You can see from the percentages on my players. So if I Jean-Paul Van Heck here, he has got a hefty 16% bonus already, and we're only in November. So that's what I mean. I really focus at the start of the season on getting my Brighton guys and building up their XP. So I have no worries in terms of full stacking Brighton. If you don't have high XP, then yes, definitely don't do that. So he'll be my defender. I think I've got Lewis Dunk, but he's injured. He may. So my main decision here is: do I go with Van Heck or do I go with Estepinian? Estepinian, in terms of XP, is 2% lower. He's on set pieces at times, so he has got peakier scores in him. So it's like, do I go with the... But look at what he also is capable of. He's capable of good scores, but he's also capable of very poor scores, because that's the life of a fullback. They're kind of boom or bust. If you're getting a fullback, they're going to lose possession a lot because they're just crossing it in. But if one of those crosses connects and you get a goal, you get a great score. I am going to go for Van Heck. I think he's a solid player. Yes, his scores haven't been amazing, but he has got the capability. And they've had some tough fixtures, so I'm going to go with Van Heck. Midfield, right? Midfield. I really would want to put Matt O'Reilly in, but one of the key things if your priority lineup, you have to have them play. You can't risk DMPs. I don't. So although I'd love to put Matt O'Reilly in at home to Southampton, I don't know if he's going to start. If something comes out in terms of the news between now and the deadline, I will probably put him in. Emil Smith-Rowe, very good player, but he's away to Tottenham. The other thing, I'm going to click this 24-25 filter because I've already used my classic card, so might as well just get the other stuff out of the way. The guy I'm looking at, Matoma, brilliant, brilliant player. He's got a couple of decisives recently. Yes, his scores don't look amazing overall, but he's got the capability. And against Southampton, he may well get that goal or assist. And up front, I'm going to go for João Pedro. Since he's come back, he's been amazing. He look at what he's done. 2 decisive in the last 2 games, and that's against City and away to Bournemouth. I'm definitely putting him in, and I'm going in with the hope that Matoma sets up João Pedro. In terms of my extra, I want to go for another Brighton guy. And then my decision is, do I go back to Estepinian? Do I go for Veltman? Hope that they get a clean sheet and potential of getting some good AA. Or do I go for Danny Welbeck, who has been very good, actually. I've only got him because he came free in the promotion. I actually got him as a free card. I am going to go for Danny Welbeck. The reason being, it's Southampton at home. They're in a good attacking side, but they do play a high line. They could leak a goal, so I'm not going to be playing a 2 defensive stack. I'm going to go for 2 forwards. I'd love to play 2 midfielders. That is the optimum way. 2 forwards isn't always the best option, but against a lower rated team, all I need is for this to really 2 or 3-0 victory of these guys getting the decisive. It can happen. I'm going to captain Matoma. Or should I captain João Pedro, Actually, I'm going to captain João Pedro. The reason being, he's on penalties and he gets a lot of AA for a forward. So you usually captain a midfielder because they get involved with a lot. They rack up the AA. But someone like João Pedro, he isn't an out-and-out striker. So he will get AA anyway, and he's got more chance than Matoma of getting the decisive actions. He will potentially get an assist, hopefully to Welbeck, or he'll get a goal. So this is going to be my priority lineup this week. So I'm going to confirm that. Right, so moving on. What's this? Christmas, new surprise every day. Christmas is coming to the market okay, they're going to be doing some new promotion, aren't they? Neon Christmas. Okay, it looks like they're going to be doing cards that are neon Christmas thing. Okay, special cards. Are you going to be suckered into buying new cards because they've got a Christmas theme? I am not going to be doing that. Thank you. I've got my team. I've got my players. I'm happy with them. And it looks like they're going to be giving away more essence, which is a slap in the face because they have nerfed the boxes. So just putting it out there. Don't get suckered into FOMO buying just because they've got like a Father Christmas hat on or something. Okay, so team next. So I've got a 2, a 3, and a 4. So I'm going to go for team 3 now, obviously. So of my remaining goalies, I've got Mark Flecken at home to Leicester. He is my next best. And I only have classic keeper. Actually, I've got Matt Sales, but he is. Oh, Matt Sales actually. So Matt Sales, I have got, and he's home to Ipswich. So he's going to be my goalkeeper. Good thing this is an in-season card, which means I don't have to close off my old classic cards yet. I don't have a lot anyway, to be fair. Next, wait a minute. Oh, yeah. Always remember, they've done this silly thing where they don't, by default, turn off the already used players. You have to kind of go here and take that off. Because I was like, wait, Jean-Paul Van Heck, I just picked him. Right, next up, Crystal Palace at home to Newcastle. Not sure about that. I think I'm going to go for. I've already got one Forest, and I've got Murillo, so I might as well shove him in. I'm only relying on one game to get a clean sheet that way. In midfield, Smith Rowe. Emil Smith Rowe away to Tottenham. No. Curtis Jones is in great form, but it is Man City. I don't know if I would put him in the priority lineup. I'm going to use him somewhere, but Ayari, would he definitely play? If he plays, he's probably going to do okay. Wolves at home to Bournemouth. See, this is what I mean. I do not have premium players, guys. So when I'm looking at João Gomez going, you might think, well, he's crap. I haven't got a great gallery. So João Gomez at home to Bournemouth, in my eyes, looks actually okay. Matt Weaver, though, reckon will play. I will. Who should I put in? I think I am going to put in João Gomez. And if I put in João Gomez, what I'm going to probably do in terms of forward, these are my forward available options. I'm probably going to go for Strand Larsen, and I can put in a classic Strand Larsen and save him for another lineup. So I will do that because, again, the hope is that there's a link up here. And then in terms of my extra, let's think. Do I go for Curtis Jones? There's always a chance that Soboslai plays. So again, he's not. One, he isn't definitely going to play, and two, it's Man City. I think I'm going to go for Damsgaard at home to Leicester. I think that's an okay team. I honestly do. And I'm going to captain Damsgaard because he's on set pieces and he gets a good lot of AA. So that's going to be my second team. Oh, I can't because I've got 2 classic cards. So I didn't even notice. So now I'll go back to Strand Larsen. I've actually got his in-season. So I will use that in-season. And now it's going to let me confirm that. I was just sitting there going, wait a minute, is it just my computer being slow? No, it was me being dumb and putting 2 classic cards. And now my last team, Mark Flecken. That's a good fixture, actually, Mark Flecken at home. But now that means I need to use all 24, 25 in-season players. Okay. Senesi away to Wolves are picking up form now. So I'm not sure I'm going to do that. Craig Dawson, do you know what? Craig Dawson is absolutely dirt cheap, but he's actually pretty good. But he isn't. They're not fancying him to play him. I'm going to go for Estepinian. This is where I'm going to probably put my leftovers of the Brighton guys. Although Matt O'Reilly won't play, he's a decisive, capable player. If he comes, he could well get. When you get to your 13, you don't mind taking those more punty risks because I'm in Div 4. So I'm going to put Matt O'Reilly in here. Iwobi away to Tottenham. He could do okay, but I would rather not. Evan Nielsen, Semenya's actually suspended, so he can't play. So I'm kind of limited in terms of my forwards. I think, who should I go for here? I think I'm going to have to go for Iwobi or Evan Nielsen. I'll go for Evan Nielsen. He's been missing some big chances recently, but if you look at his stats, he's got the capability, and he should have scored against Brighton as well, actually. So he's a goal threat. Doesn't get much AA. And then after that, I'm going to go for Senesi. You never know. You could get a corner, or you could get something where they link up. In terms of captaincy, although I've got Matt O'Reilly as a punt, I'm not going to captain him because I want my captain to be someone that will start. I'm going to captain Estepinian. So that is my 3 in-season Premier League rare teams, all done. And then I've got one team that I can field as a classic competition because I've only got one goalie left, which is Bernd Leno. He's away to Tottenham. And now I've got free for all in terms of it playing any cards because these are classic. I'm going to go for Veltman. Should still keep his place. Emil Smith-Rowe. Tottenham. The thing with Tottenham, you just don't know which Tottenham's going to turn up. I think I'm going to go for Curtis Jones. I'm going to go for a Curtis Jones. Let's put in my classic Curtis Jones. And then Iwobi. I keep looking at these. I'm going to go for Iwobi and Smith-Rowe. This is a punty team. Again, it probably isn't going to do anything. Who should I captain here? I'll go for Smith-Rowe. Let's hope it's like the Tottenham that turned up against Ipswich. And then I'm going to be okay. So that is my rare teams. Then what I then do in these Division 4 teams, what I'll do, I'll just put a 4-man team in. I don't care. Okay, Sam Johnson, it probably won't play. But the whole point of this is just to try and pick up a box, really. Some people, I don't know if everyone does this, but you should be trying to field a team, even if it's a 4-man team. If you're in the bottom division, just use up your cards. You never know what will happen. And the beauty is, if you just get one player score, if your captain scores, you're going to be in a position where you're probably going to get a box. Yeah, you won't do much else, but it's going to build up their XP as well. So I'm going to do this, and I will captain Strand Larson, 4-man team, unless Sam Johnson does get his place back from Jose Sarr. It could happen. I don't think the number one spot is guaranteed in that Wolves team yet. And again, Jason Steele won't play, but I'm just going to field a team with my leftovers. The other option is I could use some of these players down and play them with my limited cards. But to be fair, actually, I could have played Kirkos. I think I should have played Kirkos instead of Senesi in one of my earlier teams, but I could always go back in and change that at some point. But really, I'm just trying to just get a team out that will probably play. I do think Chris Wood is going to come back in, and then I might as well put Elliot Anderson. Why is Elliot Anderson not starting every game? He's so good. Is that good? Actually, Chris Wood. Come on, Chris Wood. Let's get back on form. I actually sold my in-season Chris Wood and Elliot Anderson recently because Forest fixtures are going to get very tough. Very tough. So that's my rare teams done. Now, what would I look at for? I got relegated from Division 1. It was devastating. I need to get back there. So let's see if old Bray Wyatt team can get me there. So again, let's have a look. When it comes to limited, it's totally different kettle of fish for me. I do have some really good limited teams in classic though. So in season, I've got mainly Forest, Fulham, a little bit of Palace, and a little bit of Spurs. So in terms of who is doing the best, okay, who's got the best fixture here? Forest. Okay, Forest is the team that I'm going to target. Forest home Ipswich. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click this because I know I've got a Forest in 24-25. So we're going to do Matt Sells. I'm going to do Pedro Porro. So you don't necessarily want to full stack. But if I'm picking the goalie, I usually do just shove the same defender in. But I will show you what I would do once I've kind of filled this team. Elliot Anderson. So this is where I'm kind of conflicted. I really like Elliot Anderson, but they're saying he might not even start, and they hasn't been starting. So let's skip that for now. I know Callum Hudson-Odoi is going to be up there, and I know probably Chris Wood is going to be back. They're saying no. Again, I will be checking all this at a later point, but I'm going to go for Chris Wood. And then in my mid extra position, I can play a classic card. I do have a Bruno. I bought this Bruno purely as a classic because I think he's a great player in terms of SO5 scoring. Or do I go full Forest? Full Forest, or do I shove? I'm going to keep Bruno. Bruno is going to be my captain, actually. That's a good team. That team could do very well if Forest do well. What the worst thing is if Bruno then lets me down and Forest do well, I will be thinking, why did I not full stack Forest? But it's just the way it goes. You have to kind of play it how you see fit. In terms of my next in-season team, right, goalkeeper-wise, we've got Dean Henderson at home to Newcastle. I'll go for that. Newcastle aren't firing on all cylinders, and then I might as well put Goalie again. In terms of midfield is really important. I don't have a great lot of good midfield options. Smith Rowe again, no. I think I will again look at my classic options. It's hard actually this week. Do I put KDB? No. I really am not got many good options in midfield. So this is where I'd be looking at and being like, do I need to at some point to improve things? Because it isn't looking good. It's not looking good. So what I'm probably going to look at doing is I'm going to go back. And this is what I want to talk you through, like some of my decision making. A lot of it evolves as you're kind of picking the lineups. You go back, you change your mind. So I actually am going to just put in here. I'm going to go full stack. I'm going to hope that Elliot Anderson plays. Why did I put Ola Aina? And it's good that I've gone back and checked because I would not have Aina captain. What about Gibbs White? Is Gibbs White likely to... Where is Gibbs White? Where is Gibbs White? Is he suspended? They have this... Suspended. Is he suspended? No. I've got a Gibbs White. Oh, is Gibbs White a midfielder? Is that why? Hello, Gibbs White. I don't like the way they've done this. Like, you are always fearing that you've missed something. But I'll keep it as this for now. I will go find Gibbs White later because there is a bit of a bug where some players aren't appearing. It's really frustrating. Um, okay, so let's go back to this lineup. We wanted. No, we didn't want you. We wanted Dean Henderson. Dean Henderson, Mark Gay. And then in terms of midfield options, this is where I'm going to then put my Bruno, put my 24-25 filter on because I can only do that. And then I think it's going to have to be Heung-min Son and I think Pedro Porro. Actually, I'm going to go Dominic Solanke because I want people that are definitely close to linking up. So I could put Porro in, but then you're relying on attacking returns and defensive returns from Tottenham. Whereas this lineup, I'm only relying on. It don't matter if they concede. In fact, I'd want Tottenham to concede because it will screw up the full stack Tottenham teams. So who do I captain? I'm going to captain Son. It's a tough one because Bruno. But I think they're still getting used to the new system under Amorim. He wasn't great in the last week's game. He wasn't involved at all. So I'm going to captain Son. So that's my second in-season limited team. And then let's do my last one, which is actually Division 3 as well. And then we want to have Everton. We're going to have Everton. Pickford, he may well concede, but Pickford is actually really good at picking up AA. And if he makes a few saves, even if he concedes, he could do okay. But that doesn't mean, in this case, I'm not going to link him up with Ashley Young. I'm not going to do that because I think he can do well, but I don't think Ashley Young will. I'll put Pedro Porro in. Who else have I got? I haven't got great options here. Emil Smith, no, I don't want to have Tottenham, and I don't like to have players that are playing against each other either. It can work, but it's not something I'm a fan of doing. I might go for Isaac. Like I said, I haven't got the greatest of galleries on the in-season, so I do have to kind of think outside the box a little bit. But what I do have is, if I could get rid of this, I have got Gordon in Classic. So this is where I'm going to use my Classic card to try and link together, which means that I have to go back to midfield, click my 24-25. I have to use an in-season card now. Who should I go for? I haven't got many great options. I could put Matt Weaver in. He's got a very good fixture, but he may not play. But it does use one of my cards there that I wouldn't be using otherwise. I do reckon he'll play. Or I could go for Emil Smith Rowe away to Tottenham. I don't want to do that because for him to do well, it means Pedro Porro is going to be affected. So you kind of hurt. Either way, your team's getting hurt. So I want to have the best option. So I'll go for Matt Weaver here. And I will captain... I think Pedro Porro. The reason being, they could keep a clean sheet. And if they do, he could also get attacking returns. He is on some set pieces at times. So that's my last team there. So that's my in-season done entirely for Premier League. In terms of Classic, so I do have a Division 1 Classic team. And I think in terms of that, this is where I'm going to lean on Tottenham again because I do have a lot of Tottenham. And I do happen to already have a Fraser Foster, which is good because not many people will have him. He's in my last year's collection. Fraser Foster, Pedro Porro for Classic, James Maddison, and it's going to have to be Heung-min Son. And then this is where I'm going to differentiate it. I'm going to put in Mo Salah. Am I going to put in Mo Salah? I think I'm going to have to. I'm going to put in Mo Salah. I think that's a great team. And I think I will captain. I think I have to captain Son. And this is part of the thing, my reasonable thinking or unreasonable thinking. If this team does well, Tottenham have to do well. If Tottenham don't do well, the team's dead anyway. So I might as well captain a Tottenham player. Although in my head, I'm thinking Salah's the better captain choice. But the problem with that is, say Salah does well, if Tottenham don't do well, the team's dead anyway. So if I need Tottenham to do well, I may as well. If I need that to happen, I'm going to captain Son and hope that Salah does well as well. I hope that kind of makes sense. Um, that's my top Premier League classic team. So I'm going to stop the video there because I will go and finish off my teams, but I just kind of wanted to kind of just go through what my kind of mindset is when I'm building these teams, where my priorities are. Flying goalie, for example, I'm not going to prioritize that because I just don't like the specials. I just don't think they're special enough. If we have a little look at it, what is the prize pool? Okay, what do these boxes look like? Actually, the boxes are not bad. To be fair, they did say they're going to beef up the special boxes. Is that the same for all levels? Yes, it's the same across the board. Okay, but the glorious thing about this competition is I can just use my leftovers. I'm not going to. If you were to prioritize this competition, the problem is to prioritize it. You can play any position anywhere, so you can literally put in. You can play people anywhere. So the teams that win, really, what you need is like Bruno Fernandes, Mo Salah, Son, Madison, and suddenly you're taking a lot of premium players from that could play across a couple of teams, and you're putting them into one competition. No, and the other reason I'm not doing that is I've got Premier League players. I'm going to put them in the Premier League competitions where they're against less players. I don't want to put all my best Premier League players in this competition and then have people win that have got, I don't know, like SPFL cards. And it's like, nah, I'm not doing that. I'll put my leftovers in here and I'll be happy. There's a cap 220 as well. So that's good. If you've got some like really low level players that might have good fixtures. So I might go for example, like again, a Flecken. He's over 49 though. So even that is actually quite a high score. Edison. So Edison's on 42. He's probably going to get. I'm not putting him in any high priority anyway, so I'll put him in here. You never know. I don't want him to do well, but you never know. So again, What I tend to do is I just scroll to the bottom and see who down here may play. I reckon actually Phillips. Oh yeah, because of course he's playing in the Championship. So have I got anyone down here that could come up trumps for me? Calvin Bassey, no. Daniel Munoz. He's decisive capable. I'll shove him in here. Who's my lower end midfielders that is likely to play? This guy, I don't know who he is. He's just in my gallery. I think I'll go Joe Gomez. I really need some like something. How many points have I got left? So does this not even show me how many points I got left to play with? Or does it show you? Oh, down here, 48. Okay. 48 points. We're really having to scroll to get to people. Okay. And Nunes. I don't like Nunes. And could he get a goal? Potentially. So why not? It's in cap 220, and I'm going to go the whole hog and captain Nunes because I don't want to play him anywhere else because he's a terrible player. Okay, guys. So how do you set up your lineups? What do you prioritize? Have you found any of this interesting? Should I build lineups more regularly? Let me know in the comments, and best of luck for the weekend.